looks like that's going to happen.
All right. I guess he's sitting down right now. Mr. Rich McKay. And, boy, are you walking into something right now, Mr. McKay. Thank you for coming by, and appreciate you spending some time with us. But we've been critical of this organization. We've been critical of you. I'm going to ask you a question because a lot of people are asking it, myself included. How involved are you in the day-to-day operations of what's going on?
So that's a good question. I'm the CEO, so that's my responsibility. Greg is the president and runs the day-to-day. I'm probably there one day a week, I would say. I go up. I'd say that the operation is, listen, we lost a football game this week and a home game, and it's a really tough one for everybody, especially for our fan base. But the season is still got a long ways to go, and we've got a lot of games to play. And that's one thing I think Raheem, I didn't hear all of his press conference yesterday, but I heard some of it. And I thought he did a good job of reframing and refocusing, which is an important thing for him to do. But listen, anybody that's involved in the organization, none of us are happy with what transpired on Sunday. We didn't win a game, and it wasn't a good game. But I think you get in Raheem and the way he led us, you got to refocus and you got to get ready because you're going to have to go to New England and play next week, and then we're going to have to go to Germany, and we got to get ready and try to win some football games, get some people healthy, and win some football games.
Are you part of? Raheem said he did speak to Arthur, and they speak on Mondays. Are you part of that?
I was in that meeting. Yeah, he does do that. He's great that way. A lot of the coaches have done that, right? They sit there and they have just kind of a debrief. It's not a long meeting, but it's a good meeting because questions can get asked. Because
let me ask you: if you were a general manager still, and you were a general manager in this league, and on Mondays you hear from a coach, why did we not win this game? What was the biggest thing? Well, we lost the line of scrimmage. If there's not follow-ups, if I saw the transcript of yesterday, please tell me that there was a deeper dive than we did not win the line of scrimmage.
So, and I'll say this for you. In my days, and I know I'm sure it's in their days today, you got to understand, a GM and a personnel department they're in the same building and they're in the same room and they're talking like, I don't know, 18 hours a day, because there's so much that goes on during a season. Forget this season right now. I'll just tell you from my time. There's so many moving parts on who's practicing on Wednesday, who we bringing in at safety on Tuesday, who we working out on. I mean, it's an operation that's constantly in motion. So communication, to your question, 100% of the time.
Okay.
100% of the time.
But he made a point of, when Arthur, the conversation was, we didn't win the line of scrimmage. We didn't win up front, I believe was the actual quote. Please tell me that wasn't an acceptable answer, because that doesn't even scratch the surface of what's gone on this year and what I believe went on even on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into what gets said in those meetings. I would just say to you that those meetings are one thing, because it's a period of time. It's an hour. The conversations that go on between the GM, the personnel department, and the coaching staff, that's endless. That's true in baseball, as you know, every day, and that's true in football, and that's true in basketball with the Hawks. I mean, so yes, what's said back to the media is it's a moment in time where you're doing an interview and you're giving an answer. But I would tell you that the discussions that go on and the in-depth analysis of the discussions, and today, probably different certainly than in my day, the analytical side of what you see and what's presented from what came out of the game is endless.
Rich McKay is here with us. So I said this yesterday. I think you have Arthur's ear too much. I think you're too involved in it, and others feel the same. What say you?
You're certainly entitled to say whatever that's what you guys do. I would say to you that I know the role I'm supposed to play. I'm supposed to help on the business side. I'm supposed to help when we come to big decisions on the football side, to give Arthur whatever views it may be. But I haven't tried for years to be on the football side. That's not my role. My role is to support. My role is when they need something and they want to discuss something, I'm going to be there to discuss it with them. But I think the boss is, if you guys know Arthur, he's very smart, very intelligent, very caring. He listens, right? He is listening. Be assured he hears the fans. He knows the angst. And I don't think you could have an owner that wants to win more than he does. and willing to do whatever it takes to win.
How involved were you with the whole Belichick thing and then Raheem Morris getting hired?
The interview process was there was a group of it's another question. So I would say there was probably 8 people maybe that were on that group that went through that whole process. I was certainly one of them, but we had an independent group that led it, meaning an outside agency. We had another agency that was consulting it. So it was a big group. There was no one person, and ultimately it's Arthur's decision.
So Arthur gets everybody's thoughts, and he is the ultimate decision maker in the hiring of a coach.
That's correct.
Okay. What about, and I have said...
Rich McKay here, by the way, Falcons CEO with us.
Hey, and we're here because Arthur's getting an award.
I know.
So
that's true. And we'll get to that, trust me.
So,
just want to get all the other stuff out of the way.
I'm nervous about this. I used to have a different relationship with Arthur than I do now, and that's fine. Everything evolves. Everything grows. All good. I've used the statement, I don't know who has the stomach to do what anymore around here when you don't go to the postseason for 7 years, and you might not for an 8th in a world that it's not built to miss the postseason 8 years in a row. Can you sort of talk to the idea that that's not the case? We will do, he will do, everybody will do everything that it takes, and everybody is turning over every rock to not only make it better, but if it's not better, we got to fix it sooner instead of later.
Is he the same guy he was 20 years ago?
Who's that?
Arthur Blank.
Yes, he's as driven as he's ever been. He's as sharp as he's ever been. I think you guys, if you've been around him, he's as sharp as he's ever been. He's as driven as he's ever been. And I would say to you that I would never answer the question that way, because I think that any time you begin to have a conversation that doesn't involve where you are in the season and who you're playing next, you're getting caught up in stuff that you guys get to talk about, but we don't. We have got to focus on what needs to be done for this week, try to win a game, because that's really the only thing we can control.
Is this postseason talent? Is this team talented enough to be in the postseason?
I think when we went into the season, I think we said yes. I think that we continue to say yes. I think you still got to maneuver your way through the season on injuries, on who's available, on who isn't available, on who you're playing. There's a lot of things that go into it, but I certainly hope so.
Do you know where a lot of the venom stems from? It's last year with Kirk Cousins, how nobody figured out he was hurt. What is he still playing in football games where I don't care if he's going to the trainer or not. I don't care if he's on a list or not. The inability to realize on Wednesdays, Thursdays, whatever it might be, and certainly on Sundays, that's where the holdover venom is. I'm just trying to explain this in a way that's real simple. There is venom that now exists because it seemed to be the coaching staff didn't do what needed to be done last year. Therefore, you pay the price this year when we all go, I wonder if they're doing the right thing this year.
I hear you. I hate to use a phrase, but I'll use a phrase. I'm on to New England, and that, as you guys would imagine, and I don't. When you lose a game the way we lost a game this week, I'm not dismissing the emotionality. Is that a word?
Yeah, that'll work for the sake of the conversation.
Yeah, it'll work.
I get that, but I think we have to stay focused on the course and focused on the moment, and the moment is you got to win a game in New England. That is the moment. I hear you guys, but that is the moment. And then the next moment is why I'm here, which is Arthur's award. Let's go.
All right, we'll get to that in 1 second. I just want to ask you one more thing because I don't want to be accused of talking behind your back. I asked the question yesterday. I don't know what it is that you do on a day-to-day basis. What is it that you do as the CEO of the Falcons? Because sometimes you say you're involved, then you're in meetings, and you're not involved.
So I'm the CEO of AMBSE and the CEO of the Falcons. I've got on the AMBSE side, we've got stadium stuff. We've got FIFA World Cup. We've got downtown. We got all that stuff. On the Falcon side, I'm really the support there for Greg and the coach and others. I still have my league stuff that I've got with the competition committee stuff. I'm still in those meetings that you describe. But I'm much more at a higher level because we've got people that do this every day, all day. And our job is to support them and give them what they need and make sure we're asking the questions that you guys think should be asked.
And we'll lead into the Arthur thing with this. And I'm not asking you to speak for him. Yeah. I'm asking you based upon your observance. Is Arthur angry about this?
I wouldn't speak for him that way. You know him. He is highly competitive. Don't underestimate Arthur's competitiveness. And so he wants to win just as much or more than you ever dreamed of wanting to. You know that.
But I guess it's situationally. Like, there was a thing a couple of years ago. This is what got me in trouble with him. It's not the crapshoot thing. It's everybody talked about being disappointed, and I said, when is somebody going to use the word angry? And it's a number of years ago. And that's the moment that lives with me, where you go, at a certain point, disappointed, it's not enough.
I got it. I'm not going to speak for him in this moment.
How about you? As a football guy, are you angry about this?
I am not. I'm going to not go down that path, because I'm like you guys. When the game's over and you're like, I can't, you go through all those emotions. You have got to get on the horse and get moving towards the next moment in time, or you will lose again, because you sit there and drowned in what happened. You got to fix it and move on. So I'm done with those questions, but I feel you. I'm fine with it. Let's move on.
All right, so let's talk about why you're here and why Arthur Blank is getting a reward. And a reward and an award, I suppose. Yeah,
well, so the award is really for everything he's done in youth sports, which he's a very unique individual when it comes to the youth sports, spectrum. Whether it's golf and first tee, whether it's flag football and starting in one county where there were 19 schools, and now I think there's over 300 schools, and I think there's 9,500 girls that play flag football in Georgia. There's over, I don't know how many schools in Alabama and in Montana, all of that. So you got soccer, where we've done Georgia 100, where he has done Georgia 100, which means there will be 100 pitches built in the state of Georgia, of which he is the funder. So he's touched all the different areas, and that's why I think, Lake Point's wanted to honor him, and really because in the youth sports area, he's gone into middle schools and made a bunch of grants in different counties and middle schools. And middle school is the great place where a lot of kids participate up to sixth grade. Then they get to middle school and they the fees get high. They drop out. They fall off. And then the real players show back up in high school. We're trying to fill that void. And so he's just done a lot in this space.
I have said this, and I mean this. Arthur Blank, what he does for the city, 80% of it will never be known. This is a behind-the-scenes thing that he's doing these things that you're talking about. Absolutely award-worthy. Absolutely. I love the fact that his legacy is going to be beyond the Atlanta Falcons and the Atlanta United. I do. Because I know that's him to the core. I think the thing that, again, I hope this idea of trying to chase this Super Bowl doesn't take away from that.
Right.
But I feel like, again, we're almost at that point, and it stinks in a lot of ways. He is supposed to be awarded these things. He is doing more than any of us will ever do or know. I think because he's Arthur Blank, owner of the Falcons, that's the position he has, that everybody goes to first, second, and third.
The high-profile nature of owning an NFL team is not lost on any of us. That's for sure. I think what he does every day in all the ways that he touches those people, meaning everybody, and specifically in the state of Georgia, he's given away $1.5 billion in this, in his lifetime. Probably 85 to 90% of that is in Georgia, is fantastic. I got it. I got that in the moment we're in, and it's not lost to me. I will just tell you that the impact that he's making, whether it's in the HBCUs and in the scholarship program that he just created, that it's just unbelievable. It's a transformational program that others will copy. Others will go into the space he just went into. That's going to make a difference in an incredible amount of lives and in a society, which I just can't give enough credit for.
All right, I'm going to beat the dead horse before you go. Does he come to you first when there's anything on his mind, football-wise? Are you the first person he comes to inside of that building?
I would say the answer to that is it depends, but I would say he talks to the coach, he talks to the GM, he talks to Beatles, he talks to me, he talks to all of us. He's Arthur's a smart man and is always, paying attention, but he doesn't coach the team and he doesn't pick the players, but he asks the questions. I think he's involved. And we're all part of that.
And he has final say, though. Can we get back to that? He has final say.
He does. But remember, he's not coaching the team. But he does. But he doesn't, he's not calling the plays. And you guys know that.
Yes.
You guys know that.
But I just meant big picture. It is his.
Oh, absolutely.
He's in control.
100%.
It's his call.
100%.
Stays, goes. Anything else that goes on around the building is
True
his
in
call.
our businesses, any of our businesses, yes, he does. Whether it's Mercedes-Benz Stadium, whether it's FIFA World Cup, whatever, he definitely has that.
Well, we've known each other a long time, and thanks for coming by and sitting down and answering the questions.
Man, I'm happy to. I'm sorry it's coming off the loss. It was a hard game, but we got to get on to New England, and at some point you got to get on to New England. We got to get focused.
What's today? Tuesday? I'm just not there yet.
Okay.
Tomorrow. Wednesday's the day you start prepping. Rich McKay, CEO of the Falcons, here with us. Let's take a break. It's the one thing Kirby Smart doesn't want to deal with, and we'll talk about it next on Cellini Dimino, the Fan 680.